Shadow work is a transformative journey, but it doesn't come without its challenges. From having to confront painful emotions, those deep inner woundings, and then experience that immense overwhelm by all that you're experiencing as you're diving deeper into uncovering and then working with your shadow aspects, can make this practice quite a daunting process. And in this video, I want to share with you the 8 common challenges that you most likely will be facing when embarking on shadow work, and also how to best overcome them. By having the awareness of these challenges, you have more the awareness and the ability to overcome them, to navigate through them with more ease, so you can really make the most out of this beautiful, powerful, life-transformative practice of shadow work and the deep inner healing that comes with this powerful process. So let me share with you those 8 common challenges and what you can do to overcome them. The first challenge is simply resistance and avoidance. Starting with shadow work requires dedication, requires honesty, and requires your readiness. And in the beginning, you may actually experience the resistance to actually getting started. Because when you do shadow work, you're uncovering a lot that is not always pleasant, that can trigger you, that can be very uncomfortable, that may then cause that initial resistance and avoidance to actually getting started. Now, the way you can overcome this is, for one, you want to acknowledge and accept your resistance, because it is a natural part of this process. I mean, who likes to go into the trenches and uncover all that stuff that they don't necessarily like about themselves? I mean, no one really does, right? So acknowledge that. Acknowledge your resistance and accept it. It's perfectly fine. It's a natural thing. And then start small. Ease into it. You can maybe get yourself a shadow work journal, maybe watch more of the videos here on my channel to learn more about how to really go about it, educate yourself a little bit, and start small. Start with something more simpler, just so you can get into the habit of doing shadow work. You don't want to start with the big emotional triggers that you're already having. You don't want to do that, because then you really resist that and it's going to be very challenging. So start small. Take smaller steps. That's a great way to get started. Then the second challenge you most likely will face is emotional overwhelm. Because as you're really diving deeper into your shadows, you're uncovering a lot. There's a lot of that emotional turmoil that comes up that can be quite overwhelming. Because sometimes it can be quite intense. The more intense the problem or the trigger is, the more intense you will most likely feel the emotions. And with shadow work, yes, it can be that you're only feeling it for a short time, or it could mean that you're feeling it for quite a longer period of time until you really were able to really heal and clear and transcend that shadow aspect. And of course, if you're not really sure how to best go about shadow work, that of course then also can stretch out the period of that emotional intenseness as well. That's why I want to invite you, browse through my channel. There are a lot of different videos around how to go about shadow work, different techniques of how to do shadow work and things like that. There's one in particular, it's the 6 steps of healing the shadow self. The link is in the description below, where I actually teach you a simple process of how to do shadow work. When you do that process, it will be easier for you to then go through the emotional intenseness. Now here, what you can do is, if you are experiencing an emotional overwhelm, you want to really practice self-care. Really be gentle with yourself. Never judge yourself. Never be harsh on yourself. Really be gentle and loving and caring. Really take care of yourself. Self-care is really going to be very much key in this process, because whenever you are going through some emotional challenges, you want to really take care of yourself. Not reject it, not resist it, not be mad about it, but really being gentle with yourself. You can use different techniques such as grounding to really ground yourself into the here and now. Meditation is also a great thing to do to really calm your mind, calm your emotions. Also, light language activations would also be very beneficial. I put the link in the description below of my playlist of light language activations that can help you with that emotional release as well. Even spending time out in nature is also very beneficial to really help you overcome this emotional overload as you're going through your shadow work practices. Then the third challenge you may experience is self-judgment and criticism. When you're uncovering those shadow aspects, it's easy and it's quite natural for us to go into self-criticism, judging ourselves. Why did we do that? Why did we allow this? Why, right? And here you want to not do that. You want to really be gentle with yourself. Be self-accepting. Because for one, you have done the best that you could have in the situation that you were in with the knowledge you had at that time. So you did the best that you could have. So you don't need to judge yourself. You don't need to criticize yourself. When it comes to doing shadow work, you want to do it from an open heart and an open mind. A gentle approach, a loving approach. Because think of it like that. You're doing this deep inner work to help yourself, to better yourself, to heal yourself. This is a self-nurturing process. Yes, in the moment as you're uncovering those things, it's not always pleasant when you're uncovering these things, but here, be in gratitude that you're uncovering those things, because all these shadow aspects are playing in the background, whether you want to or not, whether you're aware of them or not, but they're playing in the background. And by you doing shadow work, by you becoming aware, then you have the power of choice to do something about it. So I like to look at it like that. Whenever I uncover a shadow aspect, instead of me beating myself up over it, why do I have this? Why did I do this? And why? And really judging myself or criticizing myself, I'm like, great. I'm grateful I figured this one out, because now I can clear it. Now I can heal it. Now I can transcend that. Right? So I want to invite you to maybe shift your perception around shadow work. Instead of criticizing yourself, be grateful for what you uncover, because that means you have the awareness to do something about it. If you don't have the awareness, stuff doesn't go away. It's still there. You're just not aware of it, but it's playing out in the background. So be grateful instead of criticizing yourself or judging yourself for having these shadow aspects. So here you can practice a little bit more self-compassion, more self-understanding. You can also use affirmations whenever you are feeling down, whenever you are feeling negative. Give yourself a little pep talk like, no, I'm grateful for uncovering this because now I have the power to do something about it. Or whatever it is to really help you shift out of that self-criticizing or judgmental kind of point of view. Then the fourth challenge is the simple fear of uncovering those shadow aspects, of confronting those past traumas. Because some of the things that you have experienced, they might be quite painful. They might be quite traumatic. And when it comes to shadow work, when you're uncovering those things, it may be quite painful and you may actually resist it. Now here, when it comes to those big traumatic events, those very emotionally charged events, those traumatic traumas, here I actually suggest to not do it on your own, but to get help, because you don't want to re-traumatize yourself. And that actually may also be connected to this fear of, well, if I go there, if I open up Pandora's box, if I dive deep into that shadow of that trauma, I'm going to relive it. I'm going to re-traumatize myself, and I don't want to do that. And I completely get that. And here, I really suggest if you do have traumatic things that are really still holding an immense energetic negative charge, here I want to suggest don't do it on your own, but get help, whether it's you working with a coach, a healer, or even a counselor or therapist, or maybe even joining a support group or an online community. Wherever you can get outside support would be ideal. Whether it's on a one-on-one basis or in a group setting, where you can receive the support in a gentle, supportive way. That would be ideal. And here I want to invite you to maybe consider joining me in Transcendence. That's my membership. It's a powerful, beautiful space where we do a lot of deep inner healing, a lot of uncovering, where you can receive weekly support through our weekly coaching calls, mentor calls, healing calls, where you can come on and receive the support that you need, whether it's guidance, coaching, mentoring, or even deep inner healing, whatever it is that you need. You can come on each and every week to receive that support. We also have monthly workshops where we really focus on one particular area and also create deep inner shifts, uncovering what is holding you back and then clearing it, releasing it, transcending it. So if that is of interest to you, there's a link in the description below. You can check it out and maybe join us in Transcendence and in our upcoming weekly calls and monthly workshops to receive the support that you need on this journey. But if you do have traumatic events, traumatic experiences, I really highly recommend don't do those alone, because it can be re-traumatizing. And if you do want to work on it yourself, then go at it in a gentle way. Kind of like go at it from a very gentle perspective, like work your way in from the outside and don't go right into the middle of the core feeling, but just kind of ease your way into it. Like really just kind of clear out some of those outer experience that you had, those outer emotions that then help you get closer to the core. And whenever you're feeling very triggered in here, maybe take a pause and really just be gentle with yourself. And here, like I said, maybe get support so you don't have to do this all on your own. Then the fifth challenge you will experience will be isolation and loneliness. Because as you're diving into the shadow, and you may be easily triggered then, and you may have some emotional overwhelm that you're experiencing, and you're just quite emotional, or you're just kind of really in the trenches of your shadow aspects. This may then cause you to just kind of pull back from everything because you're dealing with all your inner stuff and you don't really want to be around other people, or you may just realize that it causes more friction when you are around your friends and loved ones. So you may actually notice that you're pulling back, or your loved ones don't really understand what you're actually going through, why you're even doing this work of inner healing. It may then can cause some disruption there as well. So if you are experiencing that, here what you can do to overcome this challenge is be open about it. Talk to your friends and loved ones about what you're doing and ask for their understanding, ask for their support. Maybe even find yourself someone like-minded like you who's also on this journey to support each other, because it makes it easier. And within Transcendence, you can actually do that as well, because we also have a private community where you can connect with other members as well. So if that is of interest to you, link is in the description below so you can check that out. But having that support is going to be very, very beneficial to overcome this challenge of loneliness and isolation. But that might be a challenge that you will then experience as well, because when you're going through shadow work, it might just be so overwhelming that you do just really want to be on your own, especially if your loved ones, your family don't really understand what you're experiencing, what you're going through, or even why. Then the sixth challenge is the impatience and frustration, because it doesn't happen as fast as you want. Because when it comes to shadow work, this is a slow progress, right? And oftentimes the shifts and changes, they're quite subtle. You don't really realize them. They're not like right in your face like a neon sign, blinking like, hey, this is the change that you just created. It's often on a very subtle level. You may start to just notice that you're feeling a little different. Maybe you're a little happier. Maybe you're a little more easygoing. Maybe you're looking at things from a different perspective. Maybe the people around you responding you a little differently. It's usually those subtle, almost unnoticeable changes that happen with shadow work. It's rarely that you have these big shifts happening that are really right in your face, like, yes, this is your success from doing shadow work. It usually doesn't happen that way. So this can cause that frustration and impatience because you're not seeing the progress quickly enough. You may be wondering, well, I'm doing all this work and why is nothing changing? Why am I still feeling stuck? And here what you can do about this is, for one, just set realistic expectations. Just know that shadow work is an ongoing process. It's something that you do on an ongoing basis. It's not like something that you take a week and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take a weekend and do shadow work and I'm done with it. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, because usually these shadow aspects, they keep coming up as you're moving forward. Whenever you're then moving forward in your life, whenever you're then continuing your journey, that's when those shadow aspects then show up. They're not just going to show up in one week and then they're done, right? So you want to integrate somewhat of a daily practice of shadow work, or at least multiple times a week, to really tune in, or even also, as something comes up, do this inner work of shadow work to release it, to transcend it in the moment. There's a video I want to share with you of how to integrate shadow work into your daily life, into your daily routine, so you can really continue this journey of shadow work. But just be aware, shadow work is not an easy fix. It is not a quick fix either. Because oftentimes when it comes to shadow aspects, it's multi-layered. For example, the shadow of I'm not good enough can have so many different layers, because you could feel not good enough of maybe speaking in public or in relationships, or really creating a healthy lifestyle, right? Or creating abundance and financial freedom. See, there's so many different layers to that. And when it comes to shadow work, that's why it's an ongoing process, because you can heal the I'm not good enough in one area, but then it shows up in all these other areas. And then there are also different layers to it too. Right? So that's why it's important to understand that shadow work is not a quick fix, but it is a powerful process when done consistently on an ongoing basis. Then the seventh challenge you most likely will experience is the challenge of integrating the shadow, because every shadow holds a gift. And when you do shadow work, the purpose of shadow work is actually uncovering, well, what is that gift? And then clearing and healing the rest, clearing and healing the emotional charge around it, but taking the gift with you, integrating that, embodying that, and from that point then taking different actions. And that's often the challenge. It's uncovering the gift is often what is challenging. And then even when you have the gift, when you understand, okay, this is the gift within the shadow, but then, okay, how do I integrate it into my life? How do I make different choices? How do I go about life in a different way? And like really embodying that gift. That is often the challenge. And here what you can do is connect with the gift. Really connect with the gift, embody the gift, feel the gift, really contemplate about the gift. What does this gift really mean to you? What is the message here? What's the lesson here? What are you meant to learn from this? How can you really embody this? How would your life be different if you were to integrate this gift? For example, the whole shadow of I'm not good enough. Well, the gift could be here is that really the self-acceptance, that you really need to accept yourself. That you need to love yourself. Okay, how can you integrate that? Well, do different practices, from mindfulness practices, affirmations, whatever it is. Stepping in front of the mirror, talking to yourself gently, really ingraining that I love myself, I accept myself, I respect myself. And then whenever you're then going about your life and then you're noticing that this whole shadow of I'm not good enough is kind of peeking its head like, oh, no. Nope. I'm noticing it, I'm acknowledging it, but I've already healed and cleared that. Or maybe do a little bit more healing and clearing around that to release that tension. And I'm like, okay, now let me shift into a different energy. I believe in myself. I trust myself. I value myself. Okay, feeling it. I'm going to feel those feelings and then go about your day or take the actions from that deeply embodied and activated state of being, really activating those good feelings within you. Like I love myself, I accept myself, I respect myself. And then go about your day from that point of view. That's how you integrate the shadow. But that might be a challenge. And it gets easier with practice. And then the eighth and final challenge that you might experience is just being consistent with it. Like I mentioned earlier, this is an ongoing process, and just the thought that, well, I gotta continue doing this on a day-to-day basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, like all the time. Oh my God, this is quite overwhelming. But you see, the thing is, shadow work usually is only challenging like right in the beginning when you first start really your spiritual journey, your healing journey, your shadow work journey, because that's when you're really uncovering a lot of stuff, when you're really in the trenches of uncovering a lot. It doesn't stay that intense, because once you really cleared a lot and then you incorporate shadow work on a day-to-day basis, you're basically getting to certain things before they get too intense. Because the reason why shadow work becomes intense is because you have left those emotions, those feelings unattended, and they just stayed and festered. That's why they became so intense. Like the bear kept getting poked, and eventually that bear got so pissed off, and that's why it is so intense. But when you incorporate a daily practice of shadow work, it's not intense. And also, the more you then really learn how to really work with the shadow, then when something comes up, you're no longer then being pulled down into the deep emotions. You're like, okay, I'm being triggered. What's going on here? Okay, shadow. Okay, let's tune in. Let's feel the feeling. Okay, what's the gift here? What's the message? What's the lesson? Okay, cool. I got that. Let's clear and heal the shadow. Okay, let's let that go. Let's integrate the gift. And then, okay, now I can move forward. This can happen very quickly. The more you do shadow work, and that's what happens when you do it consistently. But it may be challenging at first to really get started and then be consistent with it because of all these other challenges that I just mentioned to you. But I hope that I was able to not just give you the challenge, but also give you the tips on how to overcome them, that you feel more confident that, you know what, I am going to do this now. Now I know how to overcome those challenges to really make shadow work part of my journey, because shadow work is a powerful process. It will set you free. It will transform your life. Ever since I started with shadow work, my life has not been the same. I used to be so stuck in my life. My business wasn't going very well. Finances were just really stuck. I was actually so misaligned in the things that I was doing. Yes, I was kind of successful. I was making really good money. But with what I was doing, I was so misaligned. So I wasn't happy. I wasn't in alignment. I wasn't feeling good. I felt more stuck then than in other times when I didn't make that much money, but I was really doing what I love to do. So shadow work can really set you free, can really impact your life, and it can create that success, the abundance, the freedom, the happiness, the joy, all of the good things that you want. And it starts with shadow work. It's clearing out all that stuff that is really keeping you from experiencing those things. But here on a side note, it's not just about staying in a cycle of constantly uncovering and healing, uncovering and healing, uncovering and healing. You also got to move forward. It's about then transcending those parts and then moving forward. And then, okay, something comes up. Okay, let's do some healing. And then move forward again. Let's do some healing. Let's move forward. It's constantly moving forward. And as you're moving forward and things are coming up, that's when you do the inner healing and the discovering and the shadow work. But not being stuck in just doing shadow work, because then you're missing the important part of actually moving forward. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video, that it was beneficial to you, that now you have more of an awareness of how to really overcome those challenges. And of course, also, what are the challenges of shadow work? If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit the like button, maybe leave me a comment below, let me know. Have you already experienced some of those challenges that I shared with you? I would love to know. And maybe have you gotten some insights into now how to really move forward, how to break through these challenges? If you don't mind, leave me a comment below, let me know. Maybe share this video with someone that you think could benefit from it. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, maybe consider joining Transcendence if you are looking for that support in really moving forward on this journey of deep inner healing. I would be honored to have you inside Transcendent. But thank you so much for being here. Now be sure to check out these two videos here. One is about 7 techniques of doing shadow work, and another one is about how to integrate shadow work into your day-to-day practice for ongoing support, ongoing healing. So thanks so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, make an amazing, abundant, and joyful day. Namaste.